we started in Flint. That was the closest hockey for my family, coming from Lapeer. So we just started playing minor hockey, house league hockey at the Flint IMA Sports Arena. And I was actually a goalie for the first 2 years. And I remember the team I first started out was Halo Burger, which is a big hamburger joint in the Flint area. I still have the jersey today. And after that, I went down to Bloomfield Hills to Detroit Skating Club and played with the USA Bulldogs down there. And then tried out for Contour and Little Caesars, made Little Caesars, and played with them all the way up until my midget year, and then went to Honey Baked. And then after Honey Bake, was able to go to Cleveland, play in the North American Hockey League, and then right here to college, and then on to the NHL. Well, I feel like every weekend we're going to Toronto to play, and my dad was one of those guys that always kept the scores, and so we still have the programs today, and you go through all those rosters and you just look at all the NHL guys that you played against when you were that young, especially up in Toronto.
Who are some of the guys?
Well, I mean, Camilleri was there. You'd have to go back and look, but on my team alone, we had Tim Gleason played in the NHL. Chris Venarski was drafted in the NHL. Jason Bakashua that played in the NHL. Stevie Ott. So we had a lot of guys that are still playing in the NHL and or at one point did play in the NHL. So it was great times. I loved traveling to Toronto, on the weekends, and it's hard for my family, a lot of sacrifice, because coming from Lapeer down to Detroit, it's an hour-and-a-half drive, and you did your homework there, you slept, you ate, pretty much, in the car, and that's how you had to do it back then. So it's a little easier now for kids to do it, but still kids are driving, a long ways to go to practice, but. That's a sacrifice you need to make it. Michigan, that's where a lot of the good competition is down in Detroit. But there's teams popping up all over the state now. There's teams up north. There's teams on the west side of the state where they're producing some really good hockey players. Even here in Mid-Michigan and Lansing, they're producing some really good hockey players. Teams that. I had to play for were based in Detroit, and that was a long time ago. That was. That was 18 to 20 years ago, where you had to go to Detroit to play. But Michigan's done a really good job of having competitive programs and producing players from all over the state now. We played everything. We lived in a neighborhood. A lot of neighborhood kids. We played everything, anything you think of. But organized sports. Played soccer, baseball. Football, obviously, until my freshman year, and then in my sophomore year, had to give it up. That's when I moved to Cleveland to play junior hockey. But I remember those days, and they were great. I love the different sports that we played growing up as kids, and it helps in so many ways. You see guys now in the NHL warming up with soccer balls before games, throwing baseballs around, throwing footballs around. It's just good for your hand-eye coordination. Soccer's good for your foot-eye coordination, and it's beneficial anytime you can play other sports and be good at them, and learn the different qualities of those sports. It helps you in hockey. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice and dedication, and I believe if you have that, if you stay on the right track, those are some difficult years for kids. Which way you want to go. My goal is always I had to do what I had to do to get where I had to go, and that was pretty much the model that I lived with. And I knew that if I wanted to get where I had to go, I had to sacrifice some things and do some things that maybe I didn't want to do at the time. But in the end, the big picture was. Always, coming here to Michigan State, that was my number one goal. And from here, moving on to the NHL. And, you just got to stay focused. There's a lot of things that can tempt you from not, being focused. But in the end, it's all worth it.